Hey, what's up? What's going on? What's going on? It's your boy Dino, lead designer, creative director here at Ggfx Design Studios, and welcome to our studio, The Story. This video was really just put together and inspired by my mentor, my design shifu, my little brother, man, just someone that inspired me as a designer when I first got in the game. And a lot of you designers know him. His name is Noise. I tried to keep him a secret as long as I could, and everybody found out who he was, not knowing that I actually watched and studied who he was as a designer. It wasn't when I first got in the game. It was later on in the design game that I found Noise and became a big fan and watched and studied him from a distance. I talked to him a couple of times on the phone, and that was pretty much it. Now he's doing some really great things. I still watch his vlogs and watch what he's doing. Even with his vlogs, we came back and we started doing our own thing with life as a graphic designer as we know it. He has and is just an inspiration to me as a designer, and just want to give him thumbs up and big ups and shout out to him, to Noise, as someone that inspires me daily to be better than I was on yesterday. So anyway, let's get back to this video. The video that I'm doing is basically to give you my quick story on how I got in the game, and just kind of like the ups and downs of being in the game. And when I first started off as a business owner, I started off as a business owner doing martial arts. I think that was the first area of business that I went in as far as being a business. I was teaching at a karate school, which was Bell's Karate Studio back in the day. And it went from teaching at Bell's Karate Studio to actually having my own school on Oakwood Avenue. I wasn't there very long. I think we were there probably about a year. A lot of people didn't know about the school. We were off in the cut. So back then, martial arts, taekwondo, and karate was a big thing. But if you had the name, you were doing big things. So back then, it was Al Smith, George Bell, Barry Grizzard, who else? I think those were the big schools in. Master Lee, Master Koo, which was on South Parkway. They had some big schools here. And so it didn't matter if you got in the game. Those big names kept you at bay. And so anyway, that was my first experience as far as being a business, a functional business, and experiencing the life of a business owner. And it went from there to being picked up as an airbrush artist in Parkway City Mall. I was picked up by an investor named Jerry Shank, who owned a store called Stage Presents, where he sold celebrity paintings and stand-ups and t-shirts and all the really cool stuff, novelty stuff from celebrities. And so I airbrushed there for several years. I got bought out by another investor with T-Shirts Plus. And T-Shirts Plus were with the Coolies. Danny Cooley and his mom and dad, they had owned T-Shirts Plus in Madison Square Mall when Madison Square Mall first opened. So they bought out my contract with Jerry. I went over there and got in there and just did some phenomenal work. Made lots of money. Was really, really cool, man. And just to kind of fast forward in that story, I never dreamed that graphic design would be the direction that I would go as a designer. Never even thought about doing graphic design. Even after all the years of doing the IEEE at the Von Braun Civic Center, working, doing little animation demos with Deluxe Paint back then on the Commodore Amiga. Did that thing, man, and it was cool. Ended up years later getting into Photoshop. I always said you never put me on a PC. And finally ended up on a PC and got into Photoshop, studied, worked, did my thing, and got into graphic design. I even look back now at some of my older stuff, and it just kind of blows me away that it actually became a job, you know. So my objective was to take what I thought was nothing and turn it into something. And so years later, you know, we get into it, we engage into I guess, the arena of graphic design. We started off with like what a lot of you guys start off with, mixtape covers and party flyers. We did that. We learned a lot of the do's and don'ts of the game, especially as a believer, as a Christian. But as a Christian doesn't mean that you can't do things that people, you would see drugs and have dressed naked females on mixtape covers and party flyers. Just because you're a Christian doesn't mean that you use those elements in design that it makes you any less of a Christian than you are. But I just chose morally not to do certain things. And so what I did was I learned how to formulate in a way that I could do it with decency and give it back to the client, and they really be happy with it. And that worked for us for years and years and years. And to this day, I hadn't necessarily had to compromise. But I wanted more. I wanted more. I wanted more. I wanted more. And we wanted to be able to design in the on a larger scale. And one way to do that was to get locked in with a celebrity client. And so we did. Now, as Noise did in his video, he didn't name the names of the clients. A lot of you guys, if you go back and look through our portfolio, you'll see some of those clients that we've had the opportunity to work with. So we'll do the same thing. We'll just say with client A, we did a sample package and we sent it out to them. And it was amazing because 2 days later, boom, we gave them our information to give us a call. They gave us a call, and for 4.5, almost 5 years, we were with them. Now, the crazy thing about working and designing for this celebrity, one, was that through them, we were able to grab onto their celebrity counterparts. And so as long as we were with them, we had the fullness of a design group. We were able to design for some of the elite. We've designed in 8 different countries. And as long as we were with this particular client or this group of clients, we had what they had. We had their peers and their counterparts. And it was a beautiful thing. And the one thing we found was there were times, even for me, there were times for me that during the time of working with these celebrity clients, there were times I was working and putting in that work, and because you had to keep that name, you had to keep that face among your peers, especially your design peers that saw you as the next level designer. They look up to you and they see who your clients are and they want what you have. There were times when I neglected home. I neglected spending time with my wife and spending time with my son. My son did Taekwondo for 3.5 years. He finally got his black belt. Now, I went to all of his classes and whatnot, but I could have done more. My wife loves going to the movies, and just even now here recently, just in the downtime, in the down season of work, finding time to do the things that that creates balance in your life. And I would say the same thing, that you have to create balance between you and your job. And so during that time of working with the celebrities, there were times when I chose to finish up a project or finish up a deadline and not go to the movies, not spend time with my son, not go out of town, and just to put the work in. And it just got to the point where I was chasing that money and the celebrity status that came along with it. And again, I'll go back to that. As long as we were with client A and we were on the A list as their creative directors and designers, and this went on for several years, we were good. The bank account was nice, and it's a beautiful thing, But it just got to the point where it wasn't fulfilling after a while. You had it. The money was there. A lot of you guys followed us. Even now, you see with the sneakers, we got involved and engaged in the sneaker community. And we started collecting sneakers. We did the cologne thing, had a YouTube page where we did fragrance reviews. And so we tried our hands at everything that we could, But again, as long as we were with that A list of celebrities, we had a huge following of people. Now, as soon as our contract ended with these clients, as soon as, that ended, everything else went with it as well. all those people that followed us, as long as we were with these clients and these. Now the crazy part about it is a lot of you guys ask, how do I charge? And I would get the same questions that Noise would get. How do you charge people? You run across designers, other designers that want to try to charge what you charge. But you got to keep in mind, man, no matter what you think your worth is, the client is only going to pay what they want to pay, whether they respect what you think of your value or not. You can think that you're worth, $500-600 per mixtape cover or flyer or logo design. In the end, it doesn't matter, because if that client doesn't feel that, they either don't have the money or don't feel that you're worth that, then they're not going to spend that money with you. So I would just say that understand, get a better understanding of who your clientele is, who you're working with, and don't be stuck on just thinking because you think you're worth XYZ or whatever the case may be, that people just have to buy it. That they have to pay you what you're worth. It'd be a nice gesture if that was the world that we live in. But unfortunately, that's not the world that we live in. We live in a digital age now where a lot of buyers they're not even good with customer service, where they don't want to have to deal with talking to somebody on the phone or dealing with a physical person. They'd rather just place their order and wait on their product. And so we're seeing more and more of that even in our world. Now you can buy shoes out of a vending machine. You can buy food out of a vending machine. You can buy, vending machines were just designed for food, if you think about it. But now everything is going automated. And so now with companies like Fiverr and all these other design companies and companies that are out there, most of the time the client never talks to the designer. They place their order, they wait on the product, and they go from there. And so we have to follow suit. You're either going to be the innovator that comes up with the next great thing, or you're just going to be the follower. You're going to be the guy that follows the trend of technology and where technology has us. Now, I've always been a trendsetter when it comes to doing a lot of different things, but there are certain times in your life where you have to just kind of take in consideration that you're going to have to bow down, buckle down, and put things back into perspective and get some balance in your life. And right now, that's where we are with Ggfx Design Studios. Regardless of what we have charged in the past and what we've done, we're going back to the basics of how to do business from customer service on down. We're going to break down the formulation of what our company is, and reformulate how we actually drive this vehicle. How do we put this thing in perspective where consumers will come to us for everything that they need? Be nice to have all of the local churches locked in, that you're responsible for all the visual and digital goods, but unfortunately that's not the case. But it'd be nice to have a few of them. And so we have to come up with a formula that will allow that to actually happen. And if you haven't done that, if you haven't formulated your own structure to your business on how to get your clients and how to structure your prices, that's something that you want to consider. Just because you have Photoshop doesn't make you a graphic designer. So you want to make sure that you have a clear understanding of what graphic design is and how it works in the marketplace. And again, everything is not going to always be good. It's not going to always be a good, just as you have good clients, you have bad clients. Just as you have good days, you have bad days. And so when those two meet, that could be a good thing or a bad thing. So again, just as long as we've been on this journey, man, we've just gone through a lot of things. My father passed here several months ago, and there was a time where I just kind of took a back seat to designing and things as well, and that was also being able to see just the slowdown in work and how work was kind of taking a nosedive in a lot of it. And this is just being honest and transparent with you guys. A lot of people just look at our Facebook page and look at the things that we post, and they put money all in your bank account. They put money all in your pocket that you're living this high life. And I'll be the first to say, what you don't know is because I don't tell you. I don't tell you the other side of my life, and the picture that I paint for you guys is the picture that I want you guys to see. It's not that it's fake, that it's not real. It's just there's more to it than meets the eye. So just know that just as it's good and the season is good and the weather is good, there's times when the storms come and it's not so good, when it gets gloomy outside and you don't know when the next big client is going to come through, or even the small client. So we're just going back and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to readjust our presentation. We're going to readjust our pricing and make it affordable and make it relevant in the marketplace for people that are needing what it is that we have. Doesn't matter about your ego, doesn't matter about your skill set. It's just one of those things where we have to find out and put ourselves in a place where what we do is very practical and relevant and consistent for our families and our children, so that we can continue to pay our bills and do the things that we need to do. And we live in a time now where it's kind of rough. It's getting rough, and we see a lot of things kind of taking a different direction from day to day. And we have no other choice but to be in this world. But we don't have to actually bow down to the circumstances that present themselves to us. So again, this is your boy Dino. Been in the game for a long time, getting it in. I hope and pray that you guys are watching this video, that you can take some notes from it and learn from it as well. That if things aren't going the way you want them to go, as far as you being a graphic designer or any business owner for that much, step away from it. Find your passion within it, and only do those things that drive your passion, that makes you money and that makes you happy. Because as soon as you try to step into an arena that's not so good for your emotions, and it causes a lot of stress in your life, then it's just not going to be good. So take your time and figure it out, formulate it. The Bible says write it down and make it plain, and that's something even in that we didn't do. We didn't write it down, we didn't make it plain. We just stepped out there on faith and just did it. And it is what it is now. So we have to take the good with the bad and make the best of it. And that's what we plan on doing. So again, for all you guys that have followed us for all this time and all these years, we appreciate you. Shout out to all of you guys. Shout out to Noise. Shout out to, what's his name? Crazy 8 Designs. I can't remember all the guys that I've followed for years. Willie Graphics. Shout out to all you guys that have been fans that have followed us. Ozawa, Obuende, all of you guys from South Africa, L Design. Big ups to all you guys. Shout out to all you guys, because without you guys, it just wouldn't be possible for us to do the things that we do, because it takes you guys as well to inspire us to be better for you. So when you guys call us all the way from South Africa on Facebook, we're able to answer your questions. So you guys keep doing what you're doing. Stay inspired, inspire someone, and get it in, man. Don't chase the money. The money's going to be there. Just make sure you got a good formula and that it works. So until next time, you guys, look good, be good, stay fly, and we are out, man. Peace.